Hey, what's up everybody? This is Muth24, and today I'm going to be taking a look at another Halo figure. This is another figure from the Halo Anniversary series, and this is the second wave of those figures. It is Guilty Spark and the Forerunner Sentinel. So you do get two figures in one package, and I think part of that's because, one, the size of the figures, neither one of them is huge. I mean, the Sentinel's actually a pretty decent size, but it's not a traditional figure, obviously. And then the other fact is that the Sentinel has some posability, whereas Guilty Spark really doesn't. He does have a gimmick feature with his eye, which will show off in a little bit. And then you do get a stand piece for both of them, which has the Halo 3 logo, which I'll show off once I get out of the packaging. And then you also have the UNSC logo, and it's one of the wings off the top. And there's a small picture of the whole thing completed if you collect all of the Series 2 figures, which include Master Chief as he appears in the little package anime episode from the Halo Legends DVD, Jacob Keyes, a white Spartan Mark 6 from Halo 2, and then Mickey from Halo 3 ODST. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this guy out of the packaging here, and then we will take a look at him more in depth. So first up we have the little piece to the UNSC logo here. I'm just showing this off up close for anyone who's trying to collect the whole series. That's what that looks like in detail. Pretty nice looking. I have no intention of getting any of the other figures from the Anniversary Series 2 line. The only other one that I kind of considered for a little bit was the package Master Chief, and maybe sometime down the road I'll go ahead and pick that one up, but really I don't see it being that much different from like the Halo 2 Master Chief, so you know, I mean, it looks different, obviously, but I don't think the posability would be all that different. Looking at the actual figures, though, you do get this pretty cool Halo 3 base, and as you might have noticed there, Guilty Spark's eye just flipped, and it's kind of weird because it feels like it's almost weighted, but I don't know that it actually is. Maybe it's just like the bar in the middle does that, but the eye just kind of stays in one place when you flip it through. And it looks like you can rotate these figures on the stand, so you can have them both facing forward. That rampancy eye does kind of want to come down instead of the normal one. And I believe if you just kind of tug on them enough, that these figures will actually come off of their poles, I think. Yep, you can get them to come off. It does look like there's a little bit thicker part at the top of the rod there, so that will hold them in place, hopefully pretty well. The one thing that I'm noticing on this figure of Guilty Spark that I'm not real hot on is you can definitely see along the front there where the two pieces of the plastic kind of meld together. There's kind of a pretty noticeable line there, or a little gap. Other than that, though, pretty nice detail all around. Looks like his back is a little bit off-center there, which is just because of the plastic. Some nice detail on the top and like around the eye there. Good use of like the blue paint and stuff. I really like that. And then as for the Sentinel, pop him off of his post. Okay, I guess that one just wanted to come out of the base with him. Well, this is proving a little bit difficult to get out. Oh, I see what it is. Alright, well that's interesting. For the Sentinel, I don't honestly know if this was supposed to come out with the peg or not, but there's this little ball socket thing on there, and it actually goes into the bottom there and like feeds through here. So like the pole goes through that gap there, and then you feed the ball socket into there. So I think that's how he goes on the stand, at least. But anyways, you have these plastic little tendril things bent a little bit. Hopefully I can... Yeah, that one's a little crooked, but hopefully I can bend that back into place. Anyways, does look pretty cool from the front. There's him from the side. And there's like the underside. You got some nice little panels there. And if we open him up, these will, on either side, will move independent of one another, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Looks like the top doesn't move, but the bottom does. And I'm trying to see what all will open on this guy. Because it looks like there's some panels that should move, but I don't know if they actually do or not. Yeah, that's just kind of like coming off there. And it looks like maybe there's a cannon here. Maybe that just opens up. I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing this right or not. It doesn't look like there's any sort of instruction manual with the figure. So I guess maybe that's just how he's supposed to be, like when he's opened up, is to have these maybe back a little bit so you can see his face better, but face or eye, whatever you want to call that. But definitely cool looking, the Sentinel is. Lots of detail again. You can see there's like that little light underneath there. And along the sides here with like the piping and the ridges and stuff. Just overall a really cool looking Sentinel, which I didn't really expect it to be as impressive as it is, but that's pretty cool. So for sort of a size comparison, we can see here this is the Anniversary Halo 1 Chief, and you can see him just standing next to them when they are on the stand, and the Sentinel's about the same height off the ground as Chief is tall, whereas Guilty Spark is a little bit higher up. Personally, it looks a little bit better in the camera, but if I move it closer, see if it looks any different. Because in person, it looks like Guilty Spark's almost a bit too large for this line, at least to be in scale. I understand that he's not just like a tiny light bulb or whatever. He is a rather sizable as a monitor. And I know when Johnson like grabs onto him in Halo 2, he's actually pretty big, but it does seem like he's a tad large to be in scale with these figures. Maybe that's just my imagination. Maybe he is, you know, right in scale there, but it seems like both him and the Sentinel are a little bit big. But here we go for just another, you know, size comparison. Another AI construct. There's Cortana. You can see how they compare with her. And then just because I don't know, the Sentinel, big guns here. You can see how he compares with the Halo Reach series George. So that pretty much wraps up this review. It's kind of an interesting figure. I mean, it's definitely not the most impressive of the Halo figures I've encountered so far, but of the two that I bought just to, you know, have as like stand pieces, being this one and Cortana, I definitely say I prefer this one. If nothing other than the fact that the Sentinel does have some posability, and there's this, you know, eyeball gimmick with Guilty Spark there. So that's pretty much it for this review, and with that, I will see you guys next time.